Hey everyone, welcome to Things Lucy Reads and Loose, and this is my January book haul. Okay, I bought far more books than I was actually planning to this month, but the only reason for that is because my local Lifeline had a big book sale on because they had so many books donated over Christmas. So you could go there and fill a bag up for $5, and that's the only reason why I have so many. I have The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, Unnatural Habits by Kerry Greenwood, which is the 19th Franny Fisher book. I think this is the newest one. This one does have like a TV tie-in cover, but for some reason the tie-in covers are like obscenely hard to find. So I thought, well, I'm not going to worry about the TV cover, I'll just get this one since I can get all of these books for $5, so I did. And then I have the Spined Up of 3 Agatha Christie books. This one has The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, They Do It With Mirrors, and Mrs. McGinty's Dead, and it's in this really nice hardcover edition. It's got red pages there. Two of those are Poirot books, and one of them is a Miss Marple one, but I don't know which is which, so yeah. And then I have Wilma Tenderfoot and the Case of the Rascal's Revenge, which is like a middle grade mystery series. This is actually the 4th in the series, but I don't think that will matter over much. And it's by Emma Kennedy. I didn't realise until I got home, but Emma Kennedy is like a TV personality in the UK, I think, and she's been interviewed for Diva a couple of times, which is a really women's magazine that I read. And then I have The Girl Who Played With Fire by Stieg Larsson, which is book 2 of the Millennium Trilogy. I have The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but I haven't read it yet, although I have seen these first 2 movies. And then I have The We Free Men by Terry Pratchett, which is a Discworld novel, but for children. And then I have The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss, which is the sequel to The Name of the Wind. It's been read a couple of times, so it's really, really floppy, which is going to be really, really handy when I'm reading it. Okay, and then the last 2 books I have, first one is The Final Act of Mr. Shakespeare by Robert Winder, which is a historical novel set in 1613, and it's about the play Henry VII, and there's some contention over whether it was actually written by Shakespeare or not. I think it's accredited to Shakespeare, but people don't actually know for sure. So this book is kind of like a historical what-if novel, like if Henry VII was indeed written by William Shakespeare, maybe this was why, this was the reason that he wrote it and when he wrote it and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting. And then the very last book I have is one that I've actually been looking for years and years, but I've never found, and I actually completely forgot about it. And it's Portrait of a Killer by Patricia Cornwell, which is a book about Jack the Ripper, like, not fiction. She kind of reviewed the evidence on her own and did her own investigation and kind of postulated a theory about who she thinks Jack the Ripper is. So yeah, like I said, I'd completely forgotten about it, and it wasn't until I actually saw it on the table and I read the title and I was like, oh my god, that's that book. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to get to this one. Okay, so all in all I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I got 13 books at $5. That's pretty good. Okay, so these are the books that I got just in general. All the books that I got that weren't from the Lifeline sale, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first 2 books I'm going to show you are from Ange from Beyond the Pages. They were like presents. The first one was supposed to go in my December book haul, but I didn't include it in my normal haul because I thought I'd done it in my unboxing, and then I realised that I hadn't done it in my unboxing, so I just hadn't hauled it at all. And that book is The Duff by Cody Keplinger, which she sent to me as a Christmas present, and I'm really, really excited to read this book. It sounds really, really fantastic. And then the second book she sent me was just a complete surprise. She was cleaning out her bookshelves, and she was going to donate this book, and then remembered that I'd said that I wanted to read it, so she sent it to me. So that was just such a beautiful thing to do. Thank you so much, Ange, for both of these. I really appreciate them. And the book is The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth, which is about this girl who her parents die, and she goes to live with her aunt and her grandmother, and like her whole family is like really, really like strictly religious. And so when they find out that she's a lesbian, they send her to like a gay cure camp or something like that. Anyway, I've heard nothing but amazing things about this, so I'm so excited to get to it. And Ange also makes bookmarks, and so with those 2 books she sent me some. With The Miseducation of Cameron Post, she sent me these 2 laminated ones. This one says, "Home is where my books are." And then this one has a quote from Jane Eyre that says, "I would always rather be happy than dignified." With, well, not with the Duff, this came in a separate parcel, but for Christmas she sent me like a big bunch of them. This one says, "I like to party, and by party I mean read books." And then this one says, "You fell asleep here," and it's got a little arrow. This one says, "Book nerd." This one says, "Never judge a book by its movie." And then the last one is another quote from Jane Eyre, which is my favourite classic, and it says, "Every atom of your flesh is dear to me as my own. In pain and sickness, it would still be dear." She has an Etsy shop for these, so I will link that down below, and you should definitely check it out because the bookmarks are just so gorgeous. The next book I got is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, which I bought because I'm hosting a read-along for it. It's called #LamoraLong. I'm hosting it with a couple of people from BookTube and a couple of people who have book blogs. I'll put all their links in the description below, as well as my read-along announcement video. And there will be a live show at the end of the month for it. So yeah, I'm going to start this weekend, and I am really, really excited for it. And then the next book I got is just from eBay, and it's Watchtower by Elizabeth A. Lynn, which is the first book in her Chronicles of Tornor, which is a high fantasy series with lesbians. And then the next book I got is Friday Barnes Under Suspicion by R.A. Spratt, which is the second in the Friday Barnes series, which is a middle grade series. I've already read it and will hear more about it in my wrap-up. The next book I have is Batwoman Elegy by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III. This is the prequel for the Batwoman series. I've read this as well. This other book is one that was kind of an impulse buy. I was going to okay, so for Christmas my mom was going to give me some money, which I was going to use to get some books from the book depository, but then my computer died, so I had to use that money to get my computer fixed instead. And then after Christmas, this book went out of stock on the book depository, but then I was on there randomly and saw that it was back in stock, so I grabbed it post haste. And that book is Sign Language by Viggo Mortensen. Back in August, I hauled his book For Wellington, and I said that For Wellington was not the book that I thought it was going to be. This is the book that I was actually thinking of, so that now I have both, and they're both really good. This one is paintings and photos that were made while Viggo was filming in Wellington for The Lord of the Rings, and I've already looked through it, and it's so gorgeous, and it was really great to recognize certain places, like this tree. If you're like as obsessed with Lord of the Rings as I am, you'll realize that this is the tree that the 4 hobbits hide from the Nazgul under. So as soon as I opened it and saw that, I was like, yes. And there's a couple of photos in here of like fellow cast members, and he does all these paintings that are really, really interesting. There is, I think this was an exhibition, so there's like some introduction, but I haven't actually read that yet. I'll get to that at some point in the future. So yeah, the next 2 books I got for 10 cents at the library. This one is The Secret Self, A Century of Short Stories by Women, edited by Hermione Lee. And I just thought it would be really, really interesting. It's got some really great authors in it, like Willa Cather and Virginia Woolf and Edith Wharton, and it's got Dorothy Parker and Henry Handel Richardson, who is apparently a woman. And then just so many really good writers. Elizabeth Taylor, Alice Walker, Muriel Spark, Angela Carter. Yeah, so I'm just really excited to read some of these stories because all of these writers are just so highly regarded. So yeah. And then the other book I got is Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb, which is the first in her Live Ship Traders trilogy, but that trilogy is actually her second trilogy. So I was told by people on Twitter that I should not read the Live Ship Traders trilogy before the Farseers trilogy. So yeah, this one will be on hold for a while. And then Booktopia had a free shipping sale, so I took advantage of that, and I got F2M The Boy Within by Hazel Edwards and Ryan Kennedy. This is a novel about a transgender teenager. Ryan Kennedy is transgender, I believe. Yes. Yeah, and he's from New Zealand, and Hazel Edwards is from Australia, so that's kind of exciting. The next book I have is Girlfriends: A Complete Collection Volume 1 by Milk Morinaga, which is a Yuri manga. Yuri is like girls love, there's boys love, and then there's girls love, and this is girls love. I have already read this, so you will hear about it in my wrap-up. And then the next book I got, also because Booktopia had free shipping, is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, which is her first book. This is book 1 of the Farseer trilogy, and that is the first trilogy in her huge series, so yeah. A couple of people have been reading this recently and really loving it, so I'm so excited to get to it. The next book I have is Nameless: A Tale of Beauty and Madness by Lily St. Croix. This is a retelling of Snow White. I saw it in every shop ever when I was living in New Zealand, but I never actually bought it, and then all of a sudden it disappeared and I couldn't get it. So when I saw that it was on Booktopia, I was so excited because I've been wanting to read it for a really, really long time, and yeah, can we just appreciate this cover for a second, because it is beautiful. And then the last book I have to show you is Saga Volume 4. Saga Volume 4. I have already read this as well, and this will also be in my wrap-up. So yeah, that is all of the books that I got in January. I don't know how many there are. Yeah. I will do better next time, I promise. Alrighty, that is all from me for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.